Welcome to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and I am not joined by my typical co-host, Captain Phil Ruxey and Jonathan Detroit Haynes. So we have a special guest, apparently very prestigious guest, filling in for us this week. The man is dressed to the nines. It's KDFL's own Angry Matt Smith. Matthew, how are we doing today?
I'm doing amazing out here. I came dressed and prepared, ready to discuss the state of the Naugatu's and Masters with everyone in the league tonight with the disrespect I've been hearing in this conversation with not just this podcast, but with ESPN also. So I'm treating this as a business meeting, nothing else.
The most perfect Matt beginning. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off with those very own Zen Masters as we start with our Week 6 results in the KDFL.
All right, Week 6. It's been a wild one. The Zen Masters versus the Renegades. I'm pretty sure everyone on the podcast last week said the Renegades were going to win pretty easily. But, the Zen Masters were on a 2-game winning streak going into this after starting the season 0-3. And another note on this, the Raiders and the Lions were both off this week. So I had 10 players on bye, and the Renegades had 6 players on bye this week. So we were both missing a lot of people. But the Zen Masters with some ridiculous moves the past few weeks, picking up the great RB1, Deion Jackson, with 28.1 points. And then some even questioned the trade and was told Marcus Mariota, ended up with 26 points, beating the San Francisco 49ers. And the Renegades had an ugly performance. PJ Walker scoring 2.3 points. Garrett Wilson with 1.8 points. After all that, both teams are very surprisingly now 3-3, which none of you all would have predicted after Week 6.
Would that come with the Zen Masters winning 224 to 187 by chance?
That's right, yeah.
Yes, it would.
We both surprisingly are 3-3 now.
That's right. Next we go to what turned out to be a heck of a letdown game with the Wampus Cats traveling down to Melbourne to take on the Mega Powers. Ken Walker gets his solo start debut and pours in 19. Mark Andrews, the legend himself, leads the Mega Powers with 24 of his own. And it is AJ Brown, a former Zen Master, puts in 18 for the Wampus Cats. But Demario Davis, our defensive captain down here in Melbourne, brings us home the win with a very not sad at all score of 186 to 174.
I did want to make one note. The Wampus Cats now have playoff odds of 51%, and the Melbourne Mega Powers have 13%. And the game before that, the Naugatu's Zen Masters are now at 37%, which I'm pretty sure was like 2% a few weeks ago. So
Cinderella story. Cinderella story.
And Roxalana is now at a much lower 56%.
Womp womp.
Yep. So now, next matchup, the Pharmacists versus the Kings. The Pharmacists win 236 to 171. I don't think much of a surprise there for Timbo and the Kings. Just it seems like every week they're averaging about 170 points or so. This brings the Pharmacists to 4-2, the Kings to 0-6. Top score, interesting fact about this week, was an old Boboli bearded bastard, Alex Singleton, with 32.5 points. And Stephon Diggs with 31 points. The Kings struggled with Juju Smith leading the way with 24 points and Kenny Pickett getting injured. So not a good week overall for them.
What would that score be?
Like I said, 236 to 171.
Sorry. We're having difficulties on our operations, as you well know what's happening here. All right. Yeah. Next, we have the battle of the podcasters. It's the Lumberjacks headed to Elkview to take on the River Rats. Christian McCaffrey, and we'll get to it later, was his farewell game for the River Rats, even though he didn't know it. He scores 23. Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguar stallion himself, scores 26 for the Lumberjacks, but that's about where the scoring stops for Captain Ruxey. Is Rashawn Evans, a former Mega Power, traded to the River Rats, pours in 22 of his own, and the River Rats get their first win of the season 208 to 180.
Quick notes on the playoff odds.
Get them.
The Lumberjacks are now 41%, which I'm ahead of them in the standings, but for whatever reason, they have higher playoff percentage odds. So, again, ESPN with the disrespect. The River Rats are now at, it's always ESPN. The River Rats are at 16% now. Prior matchup, the Kings are at 2%, so they still have a chance, 2%. And the Pharmacists are at 70% right now. So next matchup, Dobermans and Midnight Riders, right?
That's correct.
Okay, Dobermans, Midnight Riders. I did not even realize this, maybe because I thought my team was pretty much out. I haven't been paying too much attention to the standings. The Dobermans win 226 to 209, bringing them to 6-0. I did not realize they were 6-0, but good job, Dunbar, or whatever they are now. Dobermans. I don't think it's Dunbar.
Dogtown.
And the Midnight Riders are 2-4, which is looking good for my first round pick for the Midnight Riders. Dobermans getting huge outings from Burrow and Josh Allen with 35 and 29 points. Midnight Riders with Tyreek Hill and Austin Eckler with 29 and 24. Playoff odds for the Dobermans are now 98%, and the Midnight Riders are 40%.
All right. Now we end with our game of the week. It's the 4-1 South Hills Evil Empire being hosted by the 4-1 Cross Vegas Gamblers. Jamar Chase has a beautiful second half and scores 32. Harrison Smith, Alarm Bells defensive scorer, scores 23 for the Gamblers. Jordan Hicks scores 21 for the Evil Empire. And after that, it's just Leonard Fournette with 22 for the Gamblers. But it's not enough as the Evil Empire continue to absolutely roll. 287 to 244. Evil Empire improved to 5-1. And that is it for your KDFL Week 6 results. Do you have their playoff odds? I'm just going to go ahead and ask you now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Evil Empires, of course, 98%. And who the hell they even play? The Midnight
Gamblers.
No, what the heck? Oh, Cross Vegas Gamblers at 79%. So they're still looking good.
Looking good. All right. That's got to be one of the larger points that the Evil Empire have withstood. What else? Do you have any other tidbits for us from week 6 KDFL wise?
I mean, I think it's funny right now that I'm 3-3 and my team just somehow continues to get better every single week. I don't know. It's just goofy funny because I expected to be 0-6 at this point right now in the season.
Okay.
I didn't expect the River Rats to be as bad as they are. I mean, Detroit kind of went my approach. He sold everyone. And then 2 weeks before the season started, he trades for CMC and trades for some other guys. And I don't know. Now it seems like he's finally going out of the bucket. If you want to talk about the trade that
let's bring it up here. We did have a pretty monumental trade that I have still not forgiven Reed for breaking in the most boring way possible on the Discord. Just a nice little 10 a.m. Tuesday morning bomb there. But the Dobermans have acquired Christian McCaffrey and CJ Mosley from the River Rats for a 2023 first and a 2023 second, as well as a 2024 second. And Christian Watson, the pick by the Green Bay Packers wide receiver. So let's get initial thoughts on this trade here. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, one of my I didn't do this game, but my comment from the Lumberjacks and River Rats was the River Rats finally get a win. They're 1-5 now, and CMC led the team with 23 points. His reward, he gets shipped his ass out of the River Rats. He leaves the 1-5 River Rats and now goes to the 6-0 Dobermans for some draft picks, is what it seemed like to me. I've been busy all week with work, so I haven't even comprehended this trade.
It's such a Detroit move.
I have Detroit's first pick overall, so this looks amazing to me. So good. I'll be ready.
I'm guessing, like, now what's funny, I mean, of course, McCaffrey has looked solid, running back 4 on the year. The biggest fear with him was never usage or was never, opportunity. It was always injury as of late. But as you know, I'm pretty bought into him this year because the injuries weren't the same. as they weren't the same thing, nagging injury over and over. There were two different, completely unrelated injuries. So I felt a little more safer than I think most people did. I think the underrated part of this trade was sending CJ Mosley away. That's the number 9 linebacker on the season, and he's been a consistent force for the River Rats defense. And the Dobermans are not very good on defense. They haven't been that great this year, and I think that's been that, and their running back injuries have kind of been there. While they're not absolutely blowing teams out, yes, I know that they are 6-0, but they're 4th in scoring, which is nice. They're first by a mile in points against. I think I got this stat possibly from our commish that if their points against was a team, it would rank 13th in our league. That's how many points. They've just gotten very fortunate with matchups. Still a strong team, still 6-0, but yeah, I think CJ Mosley's the one. And now Detroit's flipped. Now you have to root against that player. You have to root for him. Really, what you have to do for him to do is get traded to like the Bills or something like that, where he just gets lost in the shuffle more than the prominent role he has now in Carolina. Now,
yeah.
Go ahead.
One more thing about that. The trade, like, it doesn't, I mean, so if the Dobermans, they're probably going to be 11th or 12th pick right now. It doesn't seem like he got a ton for CMC. Did he even, like, put it out there that CMC was on the block? I don't know.
No, I think it's one of those things where we have it's weird, like a pairing off of people. Like Reed is a frequent trade partner of mine. Like I think he has almost a third of the trades I've made or with Reed. It's just weird how you find those people that you can seem to make deals with. They had a deal earlier for Goddard and Irv Smith in the season, but I think he could have got more. I think it's weird didn't he give up 3 firsts for him or 2 firsts this year?
Yeah,
what did you get?
To me.
Yeah, something like that.
I got pick 8, 10, and 11 for CMC and Dalton Schultz.
Okay, yeah.
Dalton's piece of crap this year. I have him in another league. So
right.
He's just been injured, and that's the issue with him, though.
And the River Rat season has not gone, the way he wanted. And McCaffrey is definitely a piece that you move if you're, in tank mode. He does get back into the first round, which is nice for him after giving away his first round pick to go up and get Dameon Pierce in the draft. So I do like that aspect for him. I mean, overall, it's just kind of like overall, it's just like he can get the Dobermans could not get to buy and get upset in the first round. And then you're at like pick, you could be at pick with him starting 6-0, you're probably looking at pick 8 as the best pick you could get. No problem. So interesting to see going forward. Real quick, because we got a little bit of a kind of underrated packed show today. So I got to make sure I hit on my stuff. Let's hit on the surprise team in the NFL this week. Fly high, Falcons, baby. This is so beautiful. Now, I'm not going to go too hard in on the 49ers because that was a B team defense we were playing. Like, seriously, everybody's out. They had no pass rush. But this is so different from the Matt Ryan years of flinging it all around and, air attack. I never even thought I'd enjoy this type of football, but this ground and pound, smack you in the mouth run game that you just can't. And it wasn't just last week. We ran all over the Browns. We ran all over the Bucks, which is supposed to be a great rush defense. It is so enjoyable to watch. And I have so much egg on my face from telling you Mariota's on limited time. It was merely week 5 when I was in the stands yelling with some tank top Falcon drunk dude behind me. Me and him both yelling for Ritter, get him in the game. I'm tired of this. And then Mariota gets NFC Offensive Player of the Week this week.
It couldn't have been better timing for that trade, just with our discussion.
Absolutely incredible.
It was a desperate trade because I had no QB going this week with injuries and all that. And I don't know. For whatever reason, I want to try to keep winning, although I did not expect that to happen this year. But Mariota, beast. And what's your thoughts on him for the rest of the year?
You can't go. Yeah, that's perfect. You can't go away from them until it falls off the rails. But people need to go look at the Falcons' remaining schedule. We haven't played the Panthers yet at all. We still have the Bucks once and the Saints once. We still have the Cardinals, the Bears. Like it's this team might, in true Falcons form, when they're not supposed to do anything and just tank to get a high pick, they might end up making a little bit of noise and being in the middle of the pack there. So, whatever. I'm too old now. Too old to try to tank and strategically place myself and get this high pick. Just win and let's have some fun. Another question. Oh, but finally, in wrapping that up, I think this win said way more about the Falcons and this new regime and new culture than it did about the 49ers. I think you kind of just chucked that away. I mean, the fumble in the first possession, return for a touchdown, just just one of those games. I wouldn't lose too much sleep as a Niners fan if there so happen to be any listening out there. Real quick, one more question, and then we'll get to our next part here. I'm pretty stumped by this. I thought of this. Who's the second best team in the NFC?
I feel like this entire league. I was looking at we had a crazy Sunday kind of. I don't know. The entire NFL right now is just a wild, crazy. I don't know if every team's even, but I still think the 49ers are solid. Who's the best team? Who are we considering the best team?
The Eagles. The Eagles.
Okay, Eagles. I think the 49ers are still up there. I think if their defense is healthy and all that, I would still pick them as number 2.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I think maybe the Bucks, but the Bucks look like a train wreck. He's played out now. It's annoying now. It's not competitiveness. It's not fire. It's annoying. I didn't know about all the stuff about going to the wedding and not going to any practices and all that stuff, and then coming up and yelling at your lineman, dude.
Yeah. That face every week just looks more like a picture of him at the wedding.
The cheeks get sucked in more and more. Shout out Randy Moss randomly, not randomly, but being at the wedding. I didn't expect that was pretty cool to see.
I didn't even notice it. It was a star-studded wedding.
Yeah,
I heard on podcasts like, what NFL owner gets married on the football season? That's a flag.
I think that's a punk move. I think it was part of my take that did that. I think it was part of my take that talked about it. Like, what are you doing on Friday? And then they call it getting married on a Friday. Yeah, getting married on a Friday. Getting married on a Friday is a poor move.
Yeah.
Venues are cheaper, man. Come on.
Shout out to Robert Kraft's new billionaire wife, though. Congratulations to her.
That's the real gangster in all this. All right, now your special guest hosting this week. So I know people have to listen to me talk about the Falcons and Detroit talk about the Lions. So because you're special guest hosting, we're gonna give a little soapbox to you about the Las Vegas Raiders, but we have a first now. We're going to see how the heck this goes. We have a first now in the KDFL podcast history because we've all heard you ramble and rave so much about the Raiders that yours cannot be the only voice that we hear tonight. So bringing in the other mega Raiders fan I know, some crossing in some league circles, we are bringing in right now Mr. Raiders fan himself, Justin Roach. Let's see if this works. God help us. Let's see if this goes smoothly.
You better be ready.
Technical difficulty. Oh, I think it's coming.
Here we go.
Hey!
What's up? I'm here for a business meeting, Justin, just so you know. Ready to talk.
I know.
This is
the background, but I didn't, so it's
all
good.
Okay. It's okay. You had to get your workout equipment in the background. I get it.
Yeah, man.
This is the first KDFL podcast history, the first outside guest here to talk some Raiders. Now,
yeah.
Okay, so boys, let's put you all on the couch now. Boys, what are we? We're 1-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's like we talked about, it's a different 1-4. It's not like we're, sitting looking like the Texans or, somebody like that. But
Poor
who we
Texans.
play this week. But yeah, exactly. But it's like we talked about. I think we can go on at least a 4 or 5 game roll, I believe, based on the
See,
schedule.
this is
Um,
what the people are gonna catch on to quick. This is a very yin and yang opinion of the
Yeah.
Raiders.
No, well,
Well,
go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, man.
I mean, as long as our head coach is still Josh McDaniels, I'm going to question anything of the 4 or 5 game winning streak because the Jackass has proven that he cannot win a game or doesn't know how to win a game in the final moments of the game, and he never did with the Broncos, and he always had Papa Belichick to lead the way in the past. So
Hey,
until he changes, 1-4 is 1-4. I don't care if we've almost won every game.
Okay.
bottom
Hold
line,
on.
though.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, bottom line, though, is he's done what he's been hired to do as far as keep this offense at an even keel. I mean, we got top 10 offense. What else you want? So, I mean,
This is
and if
great.
you look at our
Somebody
defense,
else said that too. Some other coach said that too.
if,
So, yeah.
if you look at our defense, we're like in the bottom quarter, as far as, yards, points. I mean,
Same as last year.
My opinions of Carr, but I don't think this is all Carr right now. I think it's the defense, man.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Can we? I wanted to quickly say, can we point out that Roach gave me Derek Carr's jersey because of how much he hated him 2 years ago,
I know,
and I still have that jersey.
You
I'll
can
keep it forever.
You can keep it.
You can keep
Now,
it, but
first, okay, you guys have your stuff in front of you because I got my first question.
oh, okay.
I got pen and paper. Whatever.
Are you ready? Okay.
I got my
Give
whiteboard.
me your the new regime, obviously, new coach, new GM. Give me your grade for them so far on this start.
For the
Great.
season or the entire thing?
Starting when they got hired.
Everything, yeah. Because the office, I mean, the GM his time is mainly over as far as his impact. But yeah, the new regime as a whole. Yeah, you write it down,
You gotta
Roach.
write it down. All right.
New regime as a whole. No, I'm thinking. Grade.
I'm ready. I got mine.
The Sharpie is terrible. All right, we're good.
All right, flip them over. Let's see what we got. Okay, you guys are much closer than I thought. Matt was F.
A little bit close.
I can't see what Roach has.
B minus to C plus.
B minus, my man. Yeah.
That's a C
So,
plus. C plus
mean-
is not good, by the way.
No, and B minus isn't really either. I just factor in the off season. I love the off season. I mean, I know we dodged the bullet with JC Jackson. I was all about it. No more. But I love to see it. But I mean, as a whole, I give us a B minus. From the off for what they're doing. Yeah, we're sitting at 1-4, and the old Parcell quote: "You are what your record says you are." But I don't think it holds true in this case. So
I don't know. I mean, one thing that's really annoyed me this year is all the Raiders fans. Oh my God, Ziegler, he's the greatest guy ever, bringing in everybody.
Ziggy!
You said that too, though.
Hold on, listen.
What
What has he done?
No.
He has paid the guys that Gruden and Mayock brought in, and I don't credit them for Devontae Adams. That's 100% Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not on that team. Adams is not going to Vegas. True. I don't give a shit what McD and Ziegler does.
No, that's
with
true.
That. So who have they brought in? I mean, I don't get it. What have they changed?
It's not necessarily
the offensive line deserves an F minus because I've been saying that although they've been playing well.
But yeah, exactly. Thank you. Past 2-3 games, Carr's been more so upright. He's not a turnover machine. He still pisses me off game to game. It happened. You know what I mean? But
this year.
I mean, at least who we brought in, we paid. We kept our talent. We paid the guys who we were supposed to pay.
Gruden's talent,
except Waller, but that's he's on his way, man. He's like I said, the Trent Brown treatment's coming, man.
That's my God, I swear,
Brown.
As a whole, I mean, the Chandler Jones looks like a whiff. Kind of
awful.
He's gotten better lately, but
he had a good game last.
We should have kept Carl.
Carl.
Actually, we should have kept Yanni. Yanni.
Carl.
No.
Yanni.
Carl's a rotation guy, man. You can get guys like Carl, for nothing.
I said Yanni. We should have kept Yanni. He was good last year with Mac.
I'll give you that, but I mean, based on the defense that Graham runs, he runs a lot of man to man. He didn't trust Yannick to play the run, and you see Max is killing it playing the run.
He is
like
by himself and no one else.
This is like the complete dude, man. And Chandler Jones a little disappointing, but he's
Renfro's been a major disappointment too since he's gotten paid.
That's your boy. Top.
That was his boy.
Major disappointment so far.
All right.
So far.
I got the next one. We ready?
Yeah.
1-4 start. I guess you could. I mean, okay. Pick one of these three to give the most. I would say blame or credit. I'm gonna lean towards probably blame. You're 1-4. Pick one of these three: the players, the GM, or the coach to put the blame on this 1-4 start. You got to pick one. The most blame or credit if you think whatever, but GM, coach, or players. Matt's always so definite in his answers, dude. I know where he's going, I think, on this.
Man, it's not the GM. It's not him.
It's never Ziggy in Roach's eyes, dude.
It's not
Ziggy.
Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler's brother.
Yeah. This man nicknamed the GM a weekend, called him his boy Ziggy. Ziggy, we trust. All right, flip him up.
I'm calling an audible. Defense. Defensive coach. I'm gonna go coach, but it's not on McD. It's not on McD. I mean,
he loves some McD. He loves them.
That sounds weird. Yeah.
Pause. But I mean, I put it on defense, on the secondary. I mean
he's
that
some of the play calling on the offense.
That Cardinals game secondary, that Chiefs game. I mean, Kelsey. 4 TDs. You got one guy, and that's what pisses me off the most is the Patriots are always known defensively, and Graham came from the Patriots to take away your weapon, take away your number one guy, let some other bum beat you, some no-namer. Kelsey. Who else do they got? Juju? No, stop it. Hardman, stop it. No, especially down there. No.
Got more. They got
Not Kelsey on his ass out to play. Good. Let somebody else speak. So I'll do it again. Defense. All right.
I will also, as always, say the damn Zebras. Always.
Yes.
Season with the Raiders. You just watch the damn game.
I know.
It's obvious. Like you don't even have. It's not even conspiracy anymore. It is real. Whatever.
No.
Hey, as much crap as I've given you guys about the ref complaining, I took it on the chin. Probably the most of anybody so far this year with one single call. So I sympathize right now. You got me on your camp right now. I sympathize. Jerome Boger.
But listen, imagine getting that call and the Falcons still winning that game. We got that call with Carr and still lost that game.
Because you shell shocked that ref. That ref wasn't going to do it. The makeup calls of makeup calls. My God.
Makeup. I mean,
it was nonstop.
Game off game.
It was the clown handkerchief of makeup calls. Now,
and he was like afraid to talk. A part of like
he was the first call.
No. I'm like.
Now, I'll give you. So you guys both made good points on this because I do agree that with Matt, with McDaniels getting too conservative at times and letting teams back in it. But I also agree if your secondary is playing that bad, you can never put a team away. I dealt with this. I'm not going to bring it back all the time. Dealt with this in Atlanta forever. You can't put teams away because people then have to throw on you, and they can. A ridiculous amount.
It's bad. And we're banged up, even more so now. Our best DB's out. So Hobbs. So I mean, we got
that's always on the hour. Sucks.
Averett. Avery's
just
coming
so you
back.
know, Hobbs
So-
is an amazing KDFL defensive player for me, by the way. And he's out. He's
His
on the
whole
IR, so
defense.
that's
His
just-
whole defense is almost. His whole defense is almost Raiders.
I mean, he
Max
doesn't turn
Crosby, Jonathan
he-
Abram, Divine Diablo, and Nate Hobbs.
the Diablo. I mean,
He's
they'll
a
get you
beast.
tackles.
He's
They'll
it.
get you
He's
the
all
tackles.
over the field. Yep.
And Hobbs
pretty
won't get
sure
you
the
turnovers,
commissioner-
but I mean, he's around the ball all the time, man. I'd love to see
Yeah.
where he ranks for DB tackles. So it's got to be up there. He's got to be top 5, maybe top.
He's been a beast all season.
But-
All of
Diablo
them.
is also the most fire name ever for a defensive player. All
It
right. Now,
is.
my final little bit here. I'm looking at the schedule coming up. You have home games. Your home games of Houston, Indy, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Niners, and you end with the Chiefs. You have away games of the Saints, the Jags, which us three will be in attendance for that game. At Denver, at Seattle, at the Rams, at Pittsburgh. So I would call this a more favorable schedule, especially the upcoming stretch. I want you guys to write down your ending record for the season. You're 1-4 right now. So you have 12 games left to predict. Coming off the bye, you've had the rest. Ending record.
Ending record. All right.
It's gonna be on the internet forever. All tens of people that watch this will know, and will hold you accountable.
Man, this Sharpie's trash. Hold on.
Have you already wrote yours down, Matt?
Yes.
God,
You
goodness.
told me not to go game by game, so
No, I meant. Well, okay, yeah, but I meant before. I didn't want you to do that before I got to that question.
no. I mean, you just named them all off. So
Yeah, I didn't want you to do that before we got to this part. That's what I was talking
Yeah, I mean,
about. Okay,
I'll go
You
you
first.
got him.
Matt,
I'll
you
go
go.
first.
You
I
go.
have a
first.
caveat here. You guys are all going to trash me and call me dumbass, but whatever.
Yes, the birthday.
It's an easy schedule. Yeah, it is 10-7. But if we lose to the Texans, we're going 1-16.
No.
Season is over. 1-16 if we lose to them. But I think
Man,
we'll
if
beat
we
them. I
lose
think
to
we'll beat
them,
them
the
pretty
season
big.
is over. Yeah, if we lose to them,
1-16. Carr's gone. We got Chase Young or who over there. I always say his name wrong. Chase
Who?
Bryce or
Bryce
he's
Love.
Alabama QB. Bryce. God, I
Bryce
totally
Young.
butchered that.
Bryce Young.
Yes. Okay, I got Young.
I always call him Bryce Love.
Yeah.
I always do.
I don't want
but that's
Bryce. I
Washington's
don't want
guy.
Bryce, but that's me.
Well, that's going to happen if we lose to the Texans this
No,
week.
he's
So-
too frail, man. He's got to put on some weight, man. I would take Stroud above him, but that's. But anyway, here
Hey,
Yes.
you see that.
Yep.
Okay. So okay.
See, we're not as far off as you thought we were. I don't.
You're
think-
not
Exactly
far
the
up on
same right
that.
there.
Yeah,
on
you
that,
know that.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to demand apologies because you're exactly where I said when I told you guys the season wasn't over. When a couple weeks ago on this podcast, I talked about how the percentage of these teams don't make the playoffs and all that was mute now because of the extra game and the extra playoff team. You're not nearly as out of it. And I told you to as I try to talk you off the ledge every week that I said a loss to the Chiefs doesn't end it. Now the way you lost was pretty damn painful, but but it doesn't end the season.
Cardinals loss was bad too. Those two.
Cardinals loss was bad.
Those two hurt. I mean, letting
Boys.
terrible Murphy run around. But anyway, yeah, 10-7, calling it. I'm sticking to it. You know, barring any major injury. So we're good.
Boys,
Means
I
an
think
easy remaining schedule.
it is.
10-7. Shit, the way the AFC West looks, that could be playoffs. I mean,
I would think so. I would think 10-7 gets you in.
I mean, yeah.
That's 9-3 down the stretch, by the way, for those not doing the math. He's like, yeah, that's all right, boys. I think we accomplished some things here today. I think we've got ourselves in the right headspace to take on these final 12 games.
If we lose to the
Now.
Texans, you got to bring us back next week, me and Roach. But if we lose to the Texans this week,
Man, I don't know if y'all not gonna want me on camera after that, man. Y'all not gonna want me on camera, man.
That tunnel back there is just gonna have a shattered screen on it.
Man, this whole room's gonna be done, man. But yeah. No, you should. If we lose, yeah.
Yes.
3-minute segment. That's it. That's all we want to talk about.
I'm in. Yeah. All right. Right, Rich. Any parting thoughts? As the inaugural guest, I think this went very well.
No, man. I think I'm good, man. It took me, to your fault, Brett. It took me forever to get on here. I've been whoring myself out like, Brett, come on. Let me go. Let me talk. But nah, man, appreciate y'all having me, man. And let's ride.
We're finally gonna get that roach. We're finally gonna get that roach like on the YouTube video. So I'm very excited.
You might maybe
well earned. All right, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, fellas. I'll see y'all.
Godspeed.
Yes, sir. All right. I'm happy. I'm not gonna do review mid episode like this, like I want to right now. But I'm quite
yeah. I surprised myself with the 10-7. But once you named off all the remaining schedule, we should win. But hell, we shouldn't be 1-4 either. So
there's some teams that are not as good as we thought they'd be. I'm looking at New Orleans. There's some team at the Rams. And there's not a lot of teams that are better than we thought they'd be. Jacksonville, maybe. Please don't let the season end with me beside you guys in the stands. No. And, you imagine, dude, I'm sitting there in the stands in my Trevor Lawrence tank top and the season's ending and Roach might just knock me cold out, dude, right there. And that's where it is.
Bucket hat.
That's where the Brett Steele story ends. Right there. Move them chains. All right. That's good for the segment. Now, are you ready to walk into week 7 of the KDFL?
I am. I'm ready.
All right. So KDFL last week, me and Detroit went 3-3. Phil went 2-4 because there were a few upsets in there. Detroit leads the way at 26-10. Me and Phil are both 20-16. So I do have their picks somewhere right here. I do have their picks as well. So let's kick this off. We'll go to, let me get myself situated here so I'm on the right stuff here. We'll go to what's going to piss me off right off the get-go. We're going to go to the Mega Powers at 2-4, coming off a dub. For their efforts, they get rewarded with a trip to South Hills and the 5-1 Evil Empire. I'll tell you their picks and kick to you. Detroit and Phil both go with the Evil Empire on this one. Not a big shock there. I'll let you take it away now.
I gotta see the projections are 259-202. Of course, Evil Empire. Dak should be back, right?
Dak is back, baby.
So my note is Dak is back, will not matter. Mahomes, Barkley, Chase, and the 10 other jackasses that the Evil Empire has that are all studs is going to kill you. I mean, I didn't even want to run down your team because, the Evil Empire.
Disrespect.
Whatever. Look, I said Dak is back, though, so there you go.
So you have the Evil Empire as well. I'm guessing here. All right.
Yeah.
I have this broken down. I'm so pissed off because this would have been a perfect week to get him. You get Jalen Hurts on bye. You get Cooper Kupp on bye. It's just the right time. It seems like that he could be got. I don't have anybody really on bye except for Devonta Smith. But as we know, my quarterback situation is what it is. And as I talked about last week, my young running backs haven't got their roles fully established yet, while my older running backs are getting replaced at a rapid rate. So I, too, sadly, have to go Evil Empire here. But, boys, let me tell you, if this goes down, if we shock the world, it's going to be a great time. All right, next up, we have the Midnight Riders, 2-4, very disappointing 2-4. Traveling to Kanawha County to take on the appropriately recorded 0-6 Kings. Let's see, we have Phil and Detroit both going Midnight Riders.
All right, I see Marmette at the Kings. 245 to 198 projection. This is based on what was on there earlier. So I saw the Kings, I don't think have a wide receiver tight end in right now. And it's been a crazy week at work. What happened to Carson Wentz? Why is he not playing?
Broken finger. You put me on the spot a little bit, but I believe it's a broken finger.
So he's out. So I see Taylor.
He's out.
He's in the game.
Yeah, Heineke will be in as well as. Yeah, he's got some bench players. Chris Olave is slated to play. He'll probably fill in that wide receiver tight end slot that he has open right now, I would say.
All right, Marmette, the great receiver as always. They're all ridiculous. He's got Rodgers, though. Rodgers has, I don't know what's wrong with Green Bay. They haven't been doing much. The Kings got A.J. Dillon. The dude's got to eventually come around. I don't know. The Kings got Geno Smith playing amazing. The legend, their view. Brian Robinson got shot this weekend. Won't matter. He'll be on the field. Josh Jacobs is that. Josh Jacobs, we didn't even talk about him earlier, but he looks like the best running back in the league pretty much when he's given the ball. He does this year, the past few games.
How did you not do that with Roach in here, though? Roach has called him since his rookie season the best back in the league. BBIL.
I'll say he's almost looked like Deion Jackson. Almost. Deion Jackson, but anyway.
It took me a second. Deion!
But with that said, I am not going with the chalk. Let's go Kanawha County Kings. They're getting their first victory of the year against the Marmette. The season will continue. So sorry, Marmette. It's not your year. Kings are winning. They got this. There you go.
A little Dunbar love. A little Dunbar love on the pod. I already wrote down you're picking the Midnight Riders, and I had to scratch it out. I'm looking at this matchup. Will Rogers have a bounce back game? If not against the Commanders defense, I don't know when. Brian Robinson does have a nice matchup in that same game, though, because Green Bay cannot stop the run. I'll tell you what, though, I am very excited to get Taylor Heineke back out there. I don't think you should have ever replaced him for a player like Carson Wentz. You replace him for a much more surefire proven vet. And Heineke is great for fantasy because that dude will sling it. For better or worse, he will chuck it all over the place. Now, funny you said that because you picked him. Now, I picked the Midnight Riders, just for the record. I picked them, but I have in my notes, they're going to come in my opinion, way under this 245 spread that they have. I just don't think I don't think the Kings can get up to them, but I could see the Midnight Riders coming in 210, 215, something like that, but still getting the win because the Kings are on to 2023, as we like to say. All right.
You talk to that guy, he gets better every week. So,
these teams, and you're kind of on this same path as well. These teams that have higher draft picks, that have been drafting higher, that should be the path. Like similar to what the Zen Masters is doing. You get stronger as the year goes on because your rookies get more playing time, they get more experience. It should be how it works. All right, next up we have the Polka Pharmacist. I know we're surprised that we're both here. The Polka Pharmacist at the Dogtown Dobermans. To me, these are two teams that were both surprised at their records. I don't even see how the Polka Pharmacists are 4-2, but they are, much to my dismay there. Wow. We have Detroit and Phil both going with the Dobermans in this to go to 7-0.
Well, the Pharmacists, I don't even have to look at their team because I know they got like half of my team from last year with all the trades that I made.
They do.
But they got that Palm Russell Wilson. Let's ride. Jesus, man, God, what a guy. The Dobermans, right now it's saying 202, 195. I think the Dobermans, but that's without CMC in there. The trade has not went through online. I traded away all those guys for a reason, so I can't say I'm a huge fan of the Pharmacist team. I got to go. The Dobermans, they're looking really good, and now they got CMC. So I know the commission has to be getting a little concerned about the Dobermans team, I would think. I know you said fourth in points, but they got some playmakers. I got to go Dobermans. Just go 7-0.
Yeah. The fourth in points is not a knock. I just wanted that to be clear. That is this is a legitimate team. It's just he's been very fortunate with what they've scored. Now, for my notes on this one, I have Russ plus. Will you freaking show me something, dude? How do you throw for 15 yards in the second half? I think if you put the athlete God himself, Tim McCarthy, in that game, I think he could get you more than 15 yards in the second half. So he might be more athletic than Russell Wilson, who no one will agree with me is fatter this year. He just simply is. He's got a little chunk.
It's the face. It's the face, I think.
Yeah, little chunk, little belly, like the John McNabb chunky soup.
Is that those Subway sandwiches?
The danger. How do you say it? Danger wish. Danger wish.
God.
Oh, the creepiest thing. Eagles bye week does hurt the Dobermans. They lose Miles Sanders, but they do basically sub out Miles Sanders and sub in CMC, like you said. It hasn't been reflected on projections yet. Kamara, I do really like his matchup Thursday with the Cardinals. The Cardinals defense is absolutely trash, but also the Saints have a ton of people out. Michael Thomas is going to miss again. Olave, she should play, but we'll see. But with all that being said, Joe Burrow gets the Falcons. And what the Falcons showed us last week is they can stop the run. They really can. They cannot stop the pass at all. Joe Burrow will probably light us absolutely up. So I think I have the Dobermans winning, and I think they're going to get a win on Josh Allen's bye week, right? It is the Bills' bye week. Am I crazy? Yeah, it's the Bills' bye week.
Yeah, it is.
So if they get a win on Josh Allen's bye week, that's huge. So yeah, Reed was upset, or Reed was happy with us picking against him so much that he's at 6-0. So what do? All four go consensus and pick the Dobermans. All right. Next up, where am I at here? Oh, next up, we do have the Gamblers taking on the Zen Masters. This is, what would this be? This would be 4-2 at 3-3. In Nocatee. So got to factor in the advantage. The crowd will be wild. They're getting better results than they expected. Their GM lowered the standards all offseason long just to be surprised now. Are the Zen Masters the Atlanta Falcons of the KDFL? We have to see. I mean, 3-3.
They're frisky fun, right?
They're frisky and fun, yes. Sadly, both Phil and Detroit have the Gamblers getting the win. What do you have here? Are you going to shock the world for a third straight week?
I need to track this for a fourth straight week, just so you know. I'm on a 3-game winning streak.
Oh, okay. I thought you were on two. Okay.
I was 0-3, 3-3 now.
Okay.
The Raiders are back from their bye week, their little crusade. I think they went on a nice yoga retreat and cleared their mind a little bit like a true Zen master would do. All 8 players I think I have of theirs. So Derek Carr is going to ball out. Hunter Renfrow is going to come back. I don't give a crap what the Gamblers' 228 projection is, which is low for them. I think they have a couple guys on bye too. 4-game winning streak, shocking the world continues. Zen Masters winning this game. There's no way I go against them and go against the pure game that is happening right now.
No way.
I think I got like 3 or 4 rookies starting right now this week because of Oz. It's going to happen.
You do. And we have ETN, we have Pickens, we have Wandell, and we have I'm missing one. Who am I missing? Breece Hall. Breece Hall. Now the Gamblers, the Vikings are on bye, so that means Dalvin Cook not in the game. Doesn't he also have Thielen. Okay, I was making sure I didn't want to say it and be wrong. He has Adam Thielen as well. Now, when I'm looking at this matchup, Ayuk will keep it going, I think, against Kansas City. He had 2 touchdowns against Atlanta. A lot of people are thinking that the Niners are going to be able to slow that game down. I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think Jimmy G's going to have to throw it. Daniel Jones has been serviceable. We've always said, I think you're a fan as well, he is the most underrated for fantasy quarterback in the NFL because he runs and because he looks like a nerd. No one thinks he runs, but he runs and he runs well. Here's the thing, dude. The defense for the Gamblers is the difference. They don't have those 180 games, 170 games. I'm not saying that's how you've been winning because you've been putting up monstrous points, but they have the nicest floor in the KDFL. So I have to go Gamblers too. I feel so bad. Like I have the guest on, he dresses up. I did a whole segment for your favorite team. I don't feel bad at all. Moving on. All right.
I want to say I think I've scored 200 every week except for week 1, which I am shocked at that has happened.
Yeah.
But they do. I've got like 250 the past couple of weeks. So if that somehow happens again,
I would
I'm going to start
consider
trading my picks. If I win this week,
yes,
trade your
sell,
opener.
yes,
I got
buy
plenty of
it.
2023 picks. It's happening. Mariota
Oh.
is just a tease for what I want to do.
Hey, I'm the one that when I saw that Mariota trade, I put in there. I said, someone's starting to believe. All right.
28 points for Mariota, or 26, something like that. No,
NFC
but hold on. The sad thing is, my legend, one of my favorite players, might be riding the bench for a while. Jason W's might not be coming in for the Zen Masters with Mariota and Carr. That would be a week-to-week thought. But I think he's definitely on the bench until he's proven healthy.
I mean,
because his back issues and all that.
Mariota, I tell you, he's on at the top. And he just didn't have a solid game, dude. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He completed 15 passes over the 2 games before that. He only attempted 22 the 2 games before. All right. Next up, we have our semi-main here. We have the 1-5, the new resident of the win column block, the River Rats, taking on the disappointing now and recently upset Wampus Cats at 3-3. I think we finally have hold on. Phil and Detroit both pick the Wampus Cats. So Phil Detroit goes against himself, amazingly.
I think it's 229, 222 right now.
Yeah.
Wampus Cats. That's with CMC in the lineup. So I don't know who this is me running out of time on full Detroit. I didn't do a whole lot of prep on this matchup, so I got to pull that.
In honor of Detroit, you had to say yes. That was on purpose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, that was amazing.
I got to go Wampus Cats because it seems like the River Rats don't even want to win now. So, Wampus Cats over the River Rats this week. That was
tough, huh?
To say together. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at this now. He does have CMC benched, so that 222 is without him in it.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, so I can't imagine that this man, he must have got confused or something, because I'm amazed that he did the prep to actually take him out to get the right projection in there. Absolutely incredible. You'll never hear me say anything, but Detroit is the hardest working man in this business. All right, now I think Lamar is going to destroy Cleveland stat-wise. I think that Cleveland defense is absolutely terrible. I think it's a great matchup for Mike Williams getting Seattle, another terrible defense. But that does mean Herbert gets them too. But I think Mike Williams coming off a bad performance against Denver will allow for him to shine a little bit against Seattle. Tough matchups for the Cats in Murray with the Saints. I think they're going to try to slow that game down and slow Murray down in the process. They tend to have a little bit faster linebackers with Davis. CEH, touchdown dependent. I think the Niners need to make a statement in this game as far as the run game and say, you can't do that to us week in, week out. Maybe the Falcons were just that elite, huh? Maybe. So I think CEH, unless he gets in the end zone, he's going to have a tough game. I'm the only one, even though Detroit is on this selection committee, I'm the only one that has the River Rats getting the win over the Wampus Cats. Now, our game of the week.
That's a lot of points for Detroit. For the River Rats. I just assumed that CMC was in there, but 222 is good projection.
It has to be up there on his projections. I would agree. But I mean, Lamar is projected 27. That's a lot for a projection on a quarterbacks. Usually almost always exceed the good ones. Almost always exceed their projections because it's so hard to factor in. But that's a lot. So hoping for my pick's sake that he comes through. Now, our final game, our game of the week. I believe was picked this because the spread is so tight and the records are identical. It's the 3-3 Renegades taking on the captains 3-3 Wake Forest Lumberjacks. Now we actually have the two going against each other for the only time this week. We have Phil taking his Lumberjacks and Detroit taking the Renegades, staying loyal to the Detroit fans, Lions fans. It was confusing worded that way. What do you say, Matt?
It looks like it is a close matchup. If this was last year, I would have complained a little that this might be the only week that I could be a game of the week. because who knows what will happen with my team. I could be 3, whatever. But no, I'm keeping the Zen thing going, and I will not complain this week about that. So great matchup. The Renegades, it looks like they got the Taylor Swift running back combo back, so they'll be healthy again. It's what it's looking like. What I was looking at earlier.
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah, Taylor Swift is what I meant to do.
Why have I never? Oh my God, dude! Well done.
The Taylor Swift running back combo. I think they got this. I don't think Phil's team's very good, and yeah, Phil, you can suck it. Sorry, in your mouth. Trevor Lawrence is going against the Giants. I think the Giants. I have a special love for the Giants, although I love the Jags. The Giants are playing well, and Trevor Lawrence, he was good last week, but he's been struggling some lately. And the Giants' defense, I feel like, it's pretty good. And I don't know what the score of this game will be, but I don't have high hopes for him. Aaron Jones has not been – the Packers are a train wreck right now. I mean, it is against Washington, but still. And who knows about your legend, Matt Ryan. But I think the Renegades are back and healthy. I got him on a good week last week with the Lions on bye and injuries. So I don't think it's going to be that close. I think the Renegades win this pretty easily.
Look, I mean, I have on these notes right now. I have on these notes. Tough matchup with Goff and Montgomery. Goff gets Dallas. Montgomery gets New England. A lot of injuries, like so many Qs for the Renegades. They've been hurt. That's why they've been kind of sliding down the standings there. Can Matt Ryan stay hot? I have on here Lumberjacks winning, but I can't now because as an apology for missing the single greatest line ever, these two names have been side by side for a year and a half now, at least. Taylor Swift, I got to go with it. And Dunbar Loyal, I'm going with the Renegades to get the win.
There you go.
Cross it out. Give me the Renegades. Absolutely incredible. I feel so bad right now. Taylor Swift. How has he never said it? What the heck?
I think he has. I think he has. I don't know.
Mr. Enigma. I probably could have missed that somewhere because Mr. Enigma is not to be messed with. All right, so let's see. Let's wrap up this bad boy here. Let's get to our locks and upsets. Last week we went 3 for 6. Detroit and Phil both hit their upsets and missed their locks. I hit my lock with the Commanders and missed my upset. So that puts the standings 2 points for an upset, 1 point for a lock. That puts Detroit at 8 points, me at 7, and Phil at 5. Let me go ahead and knock theirs out of the way. Detroit has, for his lock of the week, the Chiefs giving 3 to the Niners. And for his upset, he has the Giants over our beloved Jags, which I can imagine is a direct slap in our faces.
Yep.
So we'll deal with that at a later time. For Phil's little part here, he has the Jets getting 1. So, he has the tie in play against the Broncos. And for his upset, he has the Falcons upsetting the Bengals in Cincinnati. As always, you can follow the podcast at KDFL Podcast. You can follow me at BrettStill2. Follow Detroit at Detroit8374 and Phil at Phil Ruxy. Matthew Edward, what is your upset and lock of the week?
For my own mental sake, the lock of the week will be Raiders -7. They got this. They should come out killing them. I think they will. If they don't, 1-16. So we will kill the Texans. We should.
Upset?
Upset of the week. I've been talking all year. Somebody in the league, for whatever reason, thinks I'm joking every time I mention it. But one of the solid QBs in the league, Jimmy Garoppolo, will – I don't know where the game is. Is it in Kansas City? Either way. Either way, the 49ers are +3. Jimmy G will come in and beat stupid Mahomes in his walk and beat the Chiefs.
He will come into his home stadium in San Francisco.
Well,
so good. It's good. He knows the way. Yeah. I mean, it's literally a pick 'em with the home field advantage, giving them. No, I'm wrong again. The opposite of the home field advantage. They're getting 3. All right, we almost made it so good, so flawless. So My upset or my lock of the week, the Browns, getting 6.5 at Baltimore. I think the Raiders defense is awful. The Browns were just embarrassed by New England. Divisional games don't get that out of hand typically. So give me the points. Give me the 6.5. And I hate this Green Bay team. I think they're terrible. I think Rodgers is in the Brady camp of being kind of done. So give me the Commanders outright upsetting the Green Bay Packers. So for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for Captain Phil Rexy, for our amazing guest co-host here, Angry Matt Smith. Shout out to Justin Roach for a very special Raiders segment. I'm Brett Steele, and we will see you next week right here on the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast.